Welcome to another SSJ review. This time we're looking at the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Deluxe Class Smokescreen. Now, the first time the Smokescreen got his own figure was in the Transformers Prime Arms Micron line in Japan, where it was just basically a repaint slash remold of Knockout, and that game gained a lot of controversy over Smokescreen being a very popular character in the show and being kind of pushed aside as being a repaint, and all hope was lost, and fans thinking that he would get his own figure. But with the addition to the Beast Hunters line, we finally got the deluxe class figure we also hoped for. This is a really neat sports car, very accurate to the show counterpart. However, unlike most of the deluxe class Beast Hunter figures, the spiky armor is only attached by a rubber, very just soft rubber on the front, which I really liked. I wouldn't have cared if it was permanently attached, just as long as we had a deluxe mold for Smokescreen. But it is very nice addition that they made it removable. But even when it's attached, it does look really nice. It looks very threatening. It has 4 spikes in the front. It does blend in really nice too, especially with the blue, the different shades of blue on the spiky armor, and the blue on the car itself, and especially if you have the gun attached to the top, the blue on the net works out fairly well too. And it does have some compartments on the side of the rubber to store missiles, if you so choose so. And speaking of missiles, let's take a look at his little gun here. Shoots out fairly nice, and this is again, really rubber that can actually wrap around and can latch onto itself, but it's not too easy to do. But if you do make a circle like this, and it can like lasso around Ripclaw's neck, or if you so choose. But if you don't want the net, you can take that off too and just have a standard missile on there as well. But I don't mind having this on there. Speaking about the rubber piece, it is simply just attached by this little peg here on the side, and just falls apart like that. There's a little hole right underneath the 8, and a peg right there. And take off the gun, and you can see Smokescreen in his just standard car mode. And I really love the way this figure looks. It is missing some paint applications. I would have liked some on the wheels and on the headlights and on the taillights, and like a lot of Transformers lately is missing a good amount of detail in the back. But the detail you do have the 38s on the sides, although they're singular and they're not kind of like fading away as he is in the show. But the rest of the detail looks really nice. On the sides of the wheels, you can even see that there's brakes molded in. But I would have liked to see those painted red just to stick out a little bit more. But mostly at the paint, I would really like to see is the rims painted silver or whatnot. And you can see in the headlights, there's 2 bulbs on each side. Kind of reminds me of Nitro Convoy from Galaxy Force or Override from Cybertron. It also has some additional fog lights on the bottom. Overall, just a really solid vehicle mode. And I'm beginning to think that Wyatt, aka Anakin Vader, his theory about this and Shockwave being initially meant for the RAD line, because it kind of looks like the rubber pieces were added on at the last second to try to just fit them in with the Beast Hunters line. And I do think that has some merit, because this definitely looks like it could have been planned out for the RID line. And of course he rolls, and on the bottom not a whole lot of kibble actually. You just see some legs pieces here, and you do see his head a tiny bit there, but other than that, not bad at all. To start the transformation, if you haven't already taken off the rubber pieces, go ahead and do so. First thing, I'm just going to kind of snap it forward like this and separate the roof in half and bring the hood pieces up by like getting it from robo mode to car mode. I always find to be pretty tricky. It just takes a lot of finagling around to do so. Separate the bumper up here. Let's see, like here, not quite sure. Okay, going to spin the wheels around like so, and go ahead and rotate up the head. Let me get the camera back in focus and rotate the, actually before I do that, these tires will kind of lock in with these pegs like so, and there's another peg on the head that'll plug into a chest piece here. Kind of tricky to do, but it's manageable. Take the door pieces here and the windows, fold them up and out. One of my favorite parts about the figure itself. And just rotate this whole piece around till it's on the back, and do the same thing for this side. Like so, and rotate the waist around, fold up the back bumper pieces like that, and form the feet. Bring these pieces out to the side, from the side to the front, I meant, and there's Smokescreen in robot mode. Deluxe class Smokescreen is without a doubt one of my favorite deluxes in the Transformers Prime line. From the moment we saw him on the screen, a lot of people got anxious at the idea of having a deluxe Smokescreen figure, mainly because just his overall design is so cool and so sleek and just very smokescreeny. And this figure really upholds that look almost to a T. Just takes a couple liberties here and there. I really do love how the doors are more towards the middle of the back and fanning out. That's something that a lot of Bumblebee figures don't accomplish very well anymore. It is amazingly kibbleless. The only real amounts of kibble it does have are on the arms, where you see kind of the headlights and hood pieces, and some from certain posing angles you do see double headlights, which is always humorous. But just like the vehicle mode, this is a little bit lacking in the paint department. Some pieces are miscolored and some are just missing paint apps altogether. One to note is that his forehead crest is should be painted red. I mean, the one part is blue, but it should be white, and the parts that wrap around his head should be red, but it's molded in white. And it does look rather lifeless, especially how his eyes are kind of yellow. I do foresee myself doing some customizing on this figure just to make it a tad bit more show accurate, but molding wise, it's all there. As far as posability goes, he does have what feels like a ball joint in the middle of his head, but you only get some real side-to-side movement. He does have ball jointed shoulders and clicky elbows, no wrist articulation, and because of thanks to the transformation, he does have waist. Fairly loose ball jointed hips, which I do also foresee myself putting some either clear nail polish or super glue or Elmer's glue, something to thicken the ball joint a little bit, just to make this a little bit tighter. And he does have fairly good knee articulation, and thanks also to the transformation, he does have limited foot articulation, but man, those feet are huge, and it does allow for a great basis for him to have some really dynamic pose. As far as accessories go, you can still attach the rubber piece that from the car mode onto his robot mode using these pegs here on the sides, and using the same holes that you did, actually no, different holes from the vehicle mode, and these will peg in rather securely on the sides like so. Yeah, to kind of like wrap it around like that, and there's that. And of course you can have him hold his gun in either hand. Now this makes me happy that this piece is removable, because I'm not a fan of how the robot mode looks with this on. So I think this is going to be the last time I ever put that on him, because that just looks kind of silly to me. So he still does look pretty badass with the gun he has right now. At the deluxe price point, deluxe class Smokescreen is a definite buy if you're a fan of the Transformers Prime TV show or of Generation 1. This is a great update to the Generation 1 character. It is also a great representation of what is becoming a fan favorite of the Transformers Prime TV show. And in the future, this is going to be repainted as Prowl, which I'm also really looking forward to seeing, and would actually plan on picking that one up, seeing how Prowl and Smokescreen and G1 were the same old, and I think that would be a neat little update on it too. I definitely recommend picking up this figure. It does have a few faults here and there, kibble paint, but all are just minor quibbles with an otherwise great figure. Until next time, thank you for watching.